All right, we're trying it. If anybody's in here, if you can hear me, not you, Cat. I am working on cutting up my deer. Look at this. This is jerky. I'm turning the front shoulders into mostly jerky. And I think I'm going to do a batch. I don't know if y'all can see that really good. I don't want to dump the thing. Let's tip that down just a little bit. There you go. Ain't that pretty? Hey, if you're here, can you go ahead and tell me, can you hear me? Because I wasn't getting a thing on my telling me that I could be heard. So if you could just move, Cat, if you could just let me know if you can hear me, that would be great. I'm kind of tilted, aren't I? Oh, they left. Thanks for letting me know. Oh. Yes, I am cutting up a deer. So don't be alarmed. I gotta tilt that down just a little. All right, coming out with the second front shoulder. My cameras decided that they were going to die on me. I'm not sure what I caught of the first shoulder. This is my second shoulder. This is what's left of the first shoulder. Shoulder blade. Pick that knife right up, set it there. Now I'm going to go to the sink real quick. I'll take you with me. I've never done a live stream like this before, where I am actually working, but you know, I figure why not give it a try, right? Okay. I'll actually bring you guys right over, make sure that's all nice and tight, so you guys can actually see what's going on in the sink. Yeah, there is blood going to be in on this. There's no doubt about that. This is the exit wound, or the exit side of the body. My bullet went in just to the rear of the front shoulder and exited to the rear of the opposite side front shoulder. Okay, let's get off what we can here. I hope you guys are seeing this okay. I hope YouTube doesn't gig me. I had somebody in here. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I've never done this before. I've never done this before with the filming. Deer I've done, now it's been years, but I've done it before. I got the rest of the deer waiting outside. Okay, let's cut off this big chunk of tallow here. Hey, I got somebody in here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope you can. Let me know if you can hear me. You should be able to. Never had a problem with it before, but now all of a sudden, people leaving. Oh well. Got to tell you, this ain't for everybody. I just figured I could talk while doing this since my cameras were all acting up. Oh. This is just where we try to, in the sink is where we try to clean it up what we can. I think that'll be good. Now let me just move this back over here. Put that there. Let me go online real quick and exit out. Okay. Hopefully I've got audio. Oh. All right, now I'm going to do this side, the outer side first here. Now you got to get rid of all the silver skin. Oh, son of a gun. Drop a piece of. Get back. Let's see here if I can get this here. Better knife for that. I hear my thing go off. Somebody's in here. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Just type okay in the thing if you would. I'm not on my computer and I can't get to my messenger. Oh, they left again. So I don't know. Maybe I can't be heard. But if somebody would say, hey, can't hear you, that would be awesome. Then you can leave. I'm just bored. Cutting up this leg o' Bambi. Okay. So what's going on in your lives? I know it's mid-afternoon. Now I'm just gonna on this, there is a bone right here. And I'm just going to cut along that ridge as close as I possibly can. Okay. Then I'm going to just start pushing up here with the knife. And just maybe it's easier from this side. Yeah. Hey, somebody's here. Did it move, cat? Let's see. Okay, thank you, Mahi Lynn. Thank you, Mahi Lynn. I was worried about that because I had people coming in and leaving, and I didn't know the subject matter, if that might have been it. Or if my sound was bad. Apparently, it was the subject matter. I've got a pot of jerky here that I'm making. It's sitting in the secret sauce. Actually, I'm using the book, the North American Hunting Club's cookbook, Wild Game Cookbook. That's what I'm using for my recipe. We don't use the, what is it, accent, I think. Now there's a big tendon in here. I'm going to cut that tendon right out of there. Same way I took it off the bone. Oh. Now I am not a professional butcher, but we do the best we can. And I'm just scraping that away from that. Then I end up with a nice chunk of meat like that. Any tallow on here or silver skin. Silver skin will taste soapy, and tallow will, or which is the fat on a deer. Deer don't really have fat; they have what we call tallow. Will be, it'll go rancid. It will not dehumidify well. Then I'm cutting it in about 3/8 of an inch thick, throwing it in my brine. Okay, now I just got to flip this over and do the same exact thing on this side. Yeah, I tried filming for my video and I was having all sorts of problems. My camera stopped. I don't know if I missed that whole other front quarter that I did because my camera stopped when I was just getting done and I don't know if it recorded it. That's a nice piece of meat. And I'm just going to cut it into strips with the grain. With jerky, you cut with the grain. And throw it in there. And gonna mix it in here. I will have a jerky video out, hopefully. Cats, do you want out? I will let you out. Go, go, go. And now I'm going to do the same to this piece on the other side of that ridge. I'm going to do my best to get the silver skin off and leave it without removing any meat, or as little meat as possible. Always going to lose meat, people. I know this is probably like watching paint dry. I can't show the deer because YouTube's new standards, you can't show an animal before or after it has been unalived, because somebody might not be able to handle that their meat comes from an animal. Why can't I get my meat in the store like everybody else so another animal doesn't have to die? Oh. Cats, knock it off. Excuse me for a second. Hey, hey, Richie, handsome, get in here. Well, stay outside then. See if I care. Ugh. It is a whopping 30 degrees in Ava, New York. Trying not. I have been playing with knives in the kitchen for most of the day, and I have not yet been cut. Oh, I just wish that I had a camera person here, somebody that could worry about the cameras while I worried about the work, you know? That would be nice. Oh my goodness, I haven't done the chickens yet. What time is it? Huh. It's all right, they mostly stay inside anyway. Let's see, Marilyn says, yeah, congrats on the no cuts. Yep. Thank you. He says as he cuts himself. No, I didn't. Oh, I don't know. I figured I'd go live for a little bit and just see how everybody was doing. This is a lot of work. So far, I've done 1/4. And I got the deer wrapped up in its own skin out there still, because I only skinned down to the front shoulders. Oh. But yeah, then my camera started messing up. Hopefully, so I was stopping every 5 minutes to try to get my camera working. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to hook up my cell phone and go live. And that way I don't totally miss out on this footage. A lot of silver skin here. Can you guess what I'm going to be doing tomorrow and the next day? A lot of it's easy. Easier. The one thing taking me so long is I have not done this in years. Hi, Rebecca, touch my yarn. How's it going? I'm just cutting up my deer and figured I'd go live and see if there is any interest. So far, you and Margie Lynn and some people who apparently chose not to stay, which a lot of people can't deal with meat and raw meat, and I can understand that. But, oh, this is going to be good. I got venison jerky in the pot, it's going to be venison jerky. All of these front shoulders are going to be venison jerky, which should last me the year, I think. Oh, that's a nice little piece of meat. Oh, yeah. Hopefully, you know what? I didn't monetize this. Huh. Oops and oh well. They'd probably demonetize it anyway. Because, oh no, he killed Bambi. Actually, killed Bambi's mom. We'll let Bambi grow up and become a nice big buck. Then he is when he's got to watch out. Trying to get the silver skin off is tough. But man, oh man, it doesn't take much of it to change the flavor of the jerky. Cut it with the grain for jerky. Nice little strip. Now, stop it. You're causing me trouble. Can't really threaten it. I've already killed it, so. I remember when Wendy was here, man, we'd do one whole deer in one day. My family when I was growing up. Mom would be at the sink prepping the meat, cleaning off any, blood that and stuff like that, and removing silver skin and stuff like that, while I was at the table. Once I hit a certain age, I would debone it when Pa could get me to sit still enough to do anything worthwhile. And Pa would be looking at the meat, choosing what cuts it was going to be, and cutting it into steaks. And let's see. Right up in there. This is a good skill to have. You don't need, all that much training. I haven't had a whole lot of training. Was that creative redundancy? Nellie on the homestead. I'm Tracy, but I've been interested in the butchering side of meat for a while now. Yeah, this is I got a doe night before last. I hung it up because I had to get the house ready for it. There's going to be a video coming out on doing the other. This is the front leg, front shoulder of the deer, and I'm just cutting along natural seams. You got to remove the silver skin and everything, because the silver skin. I'm making venison. I'm making venison jerky in here. I figured I'd let it marinate as I go. Because I gotta make enough venison jerky to last me the year. Just out of this one deer, which for one person, and I'll use that as snacks, man. This will save me a ton of money on snacks. But yeah, my son-in-law and my daughter let me go up on their farm and fill my doe permit. And the first night I missed a 201-yard shot, but it was a clean miss. Man, that's a nice chunk of meat. And the second night I repositioned so I would be closer, and ended up taking this doe with a 137-yard shot. Beautiful shot for once. But for the most part, with the like for jerky and stuff, I mean, I could make some steaks out of this chunk of meat here. Medallion steaks. My father used to cut steaks. He'd cut them small and thin, and then fry them in butter and onions. And it was delicious. But this I'm turning all into jerky, so I'm cutting it into strips, but you still have to separate the clumps of meat, because this silver skin right here that's on this, see how you got this piece that doesn't have any silver skin on it, but then you flip it over and it's got this silver skin, and all that tallow and stuff has to be, and tendons and stuff have to be taken out. They've got to be removed, because the tallow will go rancid. The silver skin, which is basically tendons on a deer, the silver skin is, the deer actually has control of its silver skin, I believe. But but there are tendons in here. I don't do much. In the video that I'm making, you'll see I don't do much with the calf at all. You can make, what is that they braise it and they just cook it for a long, long time. And that makes good sambuco meat? No. But that I hear makes really good. I've never made it. I am not a good cook. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the calf on there because it's like a ho-ho with, let's see if I can find a piece. This is a tendon, going long ways here, and it's rolled up with meat in between it. And you got to cook that forever in order to get that to cook down. But it's really not hard because you just follow the bones when you're deboning, and then you follow the natural partitions within the meat. Right here, I have the silver skin, and then I have another piece of meat on top of that. So I'm just going to take and try to cut along that silver skin. That's actually a tendon, I believe. I'm going to try to cut along that because I don't want it in my food. And it goes all, because it tastes like soap to me in jerky. You get a piece of homemade venison jerky that tastes like soap. And see, that's that piece of meat I just took off there. Now I'm going to cut that with the grain for jerky. Okay, and now I got the piece of silver skin here. And I'm going to, just like skinning a fish, I'm going to run right up along it with the blade. So I'm leaving as much meat as possible there. It's pretty tough stuff, but if you poke through it, you just pull back in and reinsert. And there's that piece of tendon or silver skin, whichever you want to call it. I'm not worried. See, I got the cut marks here. Well, I'm not a grocer, so I'm not going to worry about that. Because once it goes in my mouth, nobody will ever know those cut marks are there. Now, I have an old video that has me skinning the deer, how to skin a deer. It's one of the first videos I have on YouTube because I wanted to show my grandkids how to do it. And YouTube demonetized it because it might offend somebody who thinks their meat comes from a store, and God forbid we teach people about where their food comes from, because then they would know enough to know that we're being poisoned. Step up here real quick. Remy, hey, how's it going? Welcome. But Remy, you're actually the one that I'm trying this without showing the deer or anything that identifies it as a deer. Yes, there is meat, but you know what? People see meat in the store, so I don't see how they can be offended by this. Now, I made an executive decision. See how there's a natural separation in the meat, and I'm just cutting along those separations, removing the silver skin and what I called as a kid, the slimy stuff has got to come off. Cutting it with the grain into strips. And then, see that silver skin, that separation there. I can see where that silver skin still goes down there. I didn't get it all. So I'm just removing what I can because it'll taste soapy and stuff. Okay, you can't have any fat on jerky. It will turn rancid. Or tallow. Because deer don't have fat, they have tallow. And now I'm just going to take that and cut it with the grain. The grain's running up and down on this. I'm going to cut it with the grain into strips. About 3/8 of an inch wide. Or thinner, depending on, oh man, that's a beautiful, oh my goodness, this looks just like the steaks my dad used to cook. Oh, I hate the idea of turning that into jerky. But I got to have enough jerky to last me a year, and this should save me a ton of money on snacks. Sit down with a bag of jerky, and I just munch. A piece of silver skin on that one yet. But it's not really that hard. It really isn't. If I can do it, y'all will be masters of the domain, because I'm not the smartest. I'm not the fastest motor on the car. Wait. Got my brine here. I'm going to have to start putting some of this on the racks. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the dehydrator. I'm going to let this all sit overnight. I'll have the recipe for my jerky brine. I will have the recipe on soon. It's going to be its own video. But I'll tell you, I'm getting it out of the NAHC, the North America Hunting Club Wild Game Cookbook, and it is, what do they call it? Guido's Jerky. The recipe is simply beef or venison lean cut, 1/4 cup Worcestershire, 1/4 cup soy sauce, 1 tablespoon liquid smoke, 1 teaspoon accent brand seasoning. I don't use the accent brand seasoning. 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1.5 teaspoon onion powder, salt and pepper. And it's got everything you need to do it in your oven. I gotta get a drink. Let me turn this up real quick. I'm hitting the hard stuff. It's diet. Oh. I'm gonna try to find a link for that book. But you might be able to find an updated version of it. This is an old book. The pages were white when we first got the book. They're brown now. Oh, let's see if it's got. It's got pages stuck together. Copyright 1982. But I will try to find the a link to that book and put it on my jerky video that'll be coming out hopefully Friday. I tried filming what I could of deboning the first front shoulder, and my camera ran out. I need a camera person. But making $100 every 3 months, I can't afford that off YouTube. Boy, live streams though, my CPM, I did not monetize this video. I should have, but my CPM is $65 per 1,000 views. I looked that up today. That's going to be a hard piece to eat. Yeah, it's. Now you can get the jerky machines that, you know, where you literally grind up the meat in a meat grinder and then spread it out on your dehydrator. I don't want to do that. I'm cheap. And there is something to be said for biting in to a nice piece of meat, not processed meat product. The more you process your food, the more you lose from it. And I would imagine that goes for at home also. I try to be a rebel. I was born in Plant City, Florida. Ugh. Okay, I gotta wash this knife. Or rinse it anyway. Wow, I turned that way up, didn't I? You guys don't need to see my face. I don't know if I'm doing this right with the sharpener, but it seems to help. I sharpened all my knives yesterday, but these diamond these diamond sharpening rods are more for touch-ups while you're working, I believe. Much better. Trim the fat, boy. I think Handsome has emphysema. He wheezes a lot. I think I might try doing these in the oven. maybe overnight, instead of using the electricity, because as most of you know, I'm off grid. So electricity is at a premium, especially this time of year. But I will just lay it out on my racks, and I think I'd be all right letting it go all night, because my pilot light should keep it warm enough to dehydrate it all night. It's like 125 or 119 degrees that it keeps the oven all the time. But yeah, you just follow the natural. See, this piece here, once I get it trimmed up, it's kind of blocky. But then if you want medallion steaks to cook with onions and butter, you just cut it across grains and to the thickness that you want. If you want it, if you want steaks to country fry, you just cut them a little thicker. I used to be everything went into steaks and jerky and summer sausage. But now I am more likely to, once I get a chunk of meat like this prepared, I'm likely to vacuum seal it just like this once I get all the silver skin and stuff off it. And that way, if I am in the mood for thin steaks, medallions, I cut it like that after it's thawed. If I want thick, I can cut it into thick. I just want to show you guys cutting this cross grain like this. Now there is a piece of tendon in here. That is a country fried steak right there. If you take and batter it, and then you just eat around, you don't eat the tendon, you know. And you could do it medallions, thinner. You can cut it thinner. And my problem was that after a while, I got to a point where I said, you know what? I don't want venison. Wendy would say, you want venison tonight? And I'd say, nah, I don't feel like venison. Because all we ever ate from the venison was onions, steaks with onions. Now I'm back to cutting this for jerky. I know some people are going to say, why would you make jerky when you can make steaks? Well, I got hindquarters out there still. I have backstrap out there still. I think, I hate to say it, it had been so long since I had shot a deer. I think I may have made a mess of the inner, what we call the inner tenderloins. There are two haunches of meat up along the inside of the back ribs. I call them the poison glands, because when I was young, that's good. When I was young, I read a story in Field and Stream about a guy. He was going through, gotta stir this. A guy was going through, taking himself through forestry school and college to become a game warden. and money was tight. And so what he would do is he would go out to the state land and wait to hear a shot. And when he saw the when he saw the hunters with their kill with their deer, he would say, "Hey, listen, I'm in college and I'm doing a research paper on the poison glands of a deer." And people are like, "What are you talking about? The poison glands of a deer?" And he'd say, "Well, can I take the poison glands out of your deer?" And they're like, "Oh, poison glands? I'm not eating anything poison. I never even heard of them." And he would take out these pieces, the most tender pieces of meat on the deer, on the inside of the rib cage, along the spine. Mostly the lower spine. But I think I might have cut into him when I was detaching the offal, otherwise known as guts. I think I might need to actually do both of. Come on. Get off there. Perfection is my enemy. Let's see you here. You're a good piece of meat. But yes, I will be eating steaks, country fried steaks. Hey, in the comments below, go ahead and put how you like to prepare your venison. I mean, I've never been. I love venison stew, but I've never been one to cook it. Wendy used to cook it. We used to do, and that's another argument for cutting for what for storing things in a less processed way, because like with a backstrap you can either make filet mignon, you can make steaks, you can, I don't know why you'd want to, but you could even make a roast, and but you don't have to decide if you just cut the back straps into appropriate sizes for the amount of people you're planning on feeding, then you don't have to decide until you pull it out of the freezer and thaw it. Then you can decide, okay, well, we're gonna do filet mignon in this with this back strap, or we're gonna do steaks with this back strap, or whatever. And it saves time. Now, working with meat that has been frozen is not as easy as working with fresh meat here, like I am here. Holy cow, man. This one's... Sometimes you just gotta say good enough. Fillet knife needs to be sharpened too. Dude, those would be perfect medallion steaks if I would have cut them against the grain. about 3/8 of an inch thick, 1/4 inch thick. And this is a piece of the calf, I think. Yeah, can you guys see how that's rolled up in there? That tendon, you can see the tendon here, but it's rolled up in there like a Swiss roll or a pecan pie or whatever. And those are just scraps. All right, well, let's get this all. Oh, I love guns and jerky. I always have and I always will. What time is it? Let me see if I can see. I can't say, hey, Google. 2:30, 3:30, 4:35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 30, 10:30. If I stayed up till 10:30, this stuff should be done if I use my dehydrator. Let's see here. Oh, washing the hands, washing the hands. Oh, YouTube, we love ya. Let's see. I pressure. Yeah, you can pressure cook it. You can take part of a roast and put it. I have a Dutch oven on my wood stove that works wonderfully. I prefer new meats in pies. Venison is still relatively new to me. Not a lot around it. Yep. I'll treat myself to the latest version for Chris. Nice, nice. I've looked. We have lots of those books here in Amazon UK. Nice, nice. Yeah, guys. Now I could have taken this to a meat processor and waited, and depending on the meat processor that I used, I might have got my own meat back. Like Miller's Meat Market with deer, if you get sausage, you don't know who meat you're getting back. And my problem with that is simply I take care of my deer. Right now, my deer is out there. I skinned it down to just behind the front shoulders. I can't show it on YouTube. I apologize. And then I took off the front quarters, and that's what I just finished up processing. Remy, I forgot to weigh the quarters, but this bowl here is what I got, and it's all. Let me see if I can bend that down. That's all jerky meat. I'll weigh the finished product. But even though it's dehydrated, it'll be dehydrated. Actually, I can weigh that bowl, 1/4 cup. I doubled everything, so 1/2 cup and 1 cup of Worcestershire and soy, and then everything else was teaspoons. So if I take out for 1 cup, I'm going to let Wendy clean up this mess. She won't. She stopped cleaning a couple years ago. Can't say as I blame her. since she passed. Okay, I'm not going to zero it. Okay. Is that in pounds? Can't, yes, that's in pounds and ounces. 6 pounds, 11.9 ounces. Now, zero that. Now I'm going to fill this with a cup of water because soy sauce and stuff. 8.6 ounces. So I'm going to take off a pound. I got 10 pounds of meat right here. Does that sound fair, Remy? Taking off a pound for that for the liquid that's in there, because all that's in there is a half a cup of soy sauce, a half a cup of Worcestershire sauce, a tablespoon of liquid smoke, and then 2 tablespoons of liquid smoke, and then you got a teaspoon of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and 3 teaspoons of onion powder. And then the weight of the bowl. So I think taking it, rounding it down to 10 pounds from almost 12. Well, yeah, but I would rather be safe and honest than have somebody, than because it was half a pound of water. The 1 cup, just the soy sauce and the Worcestershire sauce was half a pound, and then I'm adding half a pound for everything else. I don't know. No, not really, because this year we're just keeping record for ourselves ish. Oh my goodness. I haven't had this thing down. Well, are you hooked on? What the? But you guys see what I'm doing here. Trying to get this down, but it's like a gummy stuff. Somebody put something up there. I don't know what that stuff is on there, but I know I can wash it off. Oh. Let's see here. See if we can. Whoa! You guys seeing that? I am not using the dehydrator, guys. I just took my hand or my washcloth and rubbed it down, and that is literally the coating to the wire. What in the world would do that? That is the coating to the wire. Oh, thank God that was a gooey mess. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I would have burned my house down and lost all that benzene. Wow. You saw it here, guys. This is about it's a Magic Chef dehydrator. It's about I'm going to say mid-20s years old. And let me take you out of here real quick. And look at that. Those are the wires. This is good. The stuff turned to turned to turned to goo. The insulation around that wire. Well, it looks like I'm going to be using. It looks like I am going to be using the oven method. I hope I have enough racks. Okay. Well, I know I only got like 2 racks. Okay, let's put you up. Put my scale up here. Wow. That is bad. That's scary. Let me wash my hands after messing with that. What would make that do that? Turn to goo and gel? It's been a long time. Well, no, I used it just last year. I used it just last year on comfrey and basil and stuff like that from the garden. Okay, here. Let me. That's going to be a mess. Put a pan down. I'm going to check the temperature of my oven real quick. Stick with me, guys. Okay, I have here one of those point and shoot thermometers. Push the button. Let's see. 96.4. I always run a little low anyway. So now get it off body to surface. $129.4 degrees is what my oven is reading. So I think I will be good. Let's see what the book says. It says place a layer of aluminum foil in your oven to catch the drippings. Suspend the strips from the top of the oven rack. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lay them on the rack. Turn heat to 120 degrees or your lowest setting. Allow the oven door to stand slightly open so that moisture will escape. Heat strips 10 to 12 hours. Ooh. Or until the meat has turned dark and there is no moisture left. Remember, the secret is to dehydrate the meat, not cook it. Store in an airtight container to seal in the freshness. The jerky should last 2 years when stored this way. Don Guido Villemez, Harvey, Louisiana. All right, here. I don't know how this is going to work. I've never done it this way before. It says to stick cute toothpicks through it and hang it. What to do, what to do. Let's see here. I use the I used it about a year ago. Yeah, electric tape would fix it. But man, oh man. You know what I'm going to do? I'm still going to use the racks. 129 degrees, I can still use these. Let's see. Put that back in there. And how many racks can I fit? It's going to take longer because I'll have to do it. Yeah, just drop that anywhere, dummy. Wait. Ooh la la! Y'all heard it here first. Wow, did you guys hear that? Check this out. My door opened. Where are we looking here? What happened? My door opened and all this, and one of my glass bowls shattered. Yay! But I didn't get cut. You know what? I am going to go ahead and I can still stack these in there. Just use the heat. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, all right. All right. Let's take this one out of there and set it there. Okay. Put that stuff to the side. I got meat to care for. Okay, so make sure we get the best. See, I got all sorts of little pieces, so just laying these on here. Making sure there's room for air to get through it. Oh, goodness, these smell good. So you got any little pieces here. Okay. Only want one. Let's set those right there for a second. That there. Now I'll set that right there. What I'll do is I'll still use these racks because this plastic should be rated for well over 120 degrees. $120 you think will be 129? Oh, my hands are all icky now. If I have to, I can leave it all night long. That's not a real worry of mine. all it does is get dehydrated more better. And more better dehydration, it means that it will last more longer. Some of these pieces are awful thick. Oh, my tummy's growling. I haven't eaten today. I woke up this morning, made myself a cup of coffee, poured my milk in said coffee, and the milk just turned into, it curdled. The milk curdled. So I ended up having to run down to town to grab more milk that wouldn't curdle it. And that was a pain. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some tomorrow too, I guess. Now I'm doing these crisscross, like one layer I go this way, the other layer I go that way, leaving plenty of room, trying to leave plenty of room for air and moisture to go through and escape. And guys, I'm not a picky man. So, you know, if you see that I'm doing something that's dangerous, let me know. If it ain't dangerous, it ain't going to bother me. And I think I said this already. Once you dehydrate this, do not add any more sauce or anything and try to store it. Because once you add moisture to dehydrated food, it is no longer dehydrated. Oh. Okay. All right. So I just want to check that book one more time. 120 degrees or your lowest setting. I just want to check one more time. Yeah, I know. Surface. 121. 117. Now that I open the door, it's 1:14. Now, I am going to put the lid on it. And then throw this in the oven. I hope you guys... And I'm closing the door because that's got a vent in it anyway. Woo, 6 people. Yeah, standing in the glass is not just dangerous, it's stupid. So I'm par for the course. Why? What in the world? That whole thing broke. Oh. You know what? Why? That shouldn't have even been in there. Let's see here. All right, boom. All right, guys. Woo. It is 3, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 11 o'clock, I should be able to take that out and check it. Would have been real nice to have that fan of the dehydrator. But on a good note, now I have an excuse to go buy a new dehydrator. But this is actually better for me because I'm off grid and electricity is at a premium. Do you think at 120 some degrees, I do have a mouse problem? This morning I found, I hate to admit this, I had some mouse droppings on my counter I had to clean up. You think a mouse would bother that in there at that temperature? I'll take the lid off. You just type your answer. But that might let it flow a little better. All right. I have 2 cats. I have 2 cats, but I feed them too well. I treat them too well. Oh, goodness. Yeah, they're treated too well. They do. Every once in a while, I will find a tail and a spine in front of the back door. They're consistent on where they leave it, which I'm thankful for. Yeah, I think he might live under the oven. I'm going to put some poison out. I don't like to poison them because if the cats get them, but cats, my cats especially, I don't think mess with dead things. I've never seen them play with anything once it's dead. They eat it after they kill it, but and my chickens, they don't even want to come out. So, all right, guys, I am going to let you go. I've got a bunch of cleanup to do and all that. Thank you so much for stopping by the homestead today. I will be I will be coming out with the jerky video. I didn't film all that, but I got a bunch of jerky left that I will put in the fridge overnight and make tomorrow the same way. Thank you for stopping by the homestead. Now the fun part, clean up. And then this is just the 2 front shoulders. So I've got hindquarters, all that stuff, and a bunch of stuff that's got to be vacuum sealed and all that good stuff. But all right, I'm going to head on out. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for stopping by, and God bless.